Today is a very big day and I can't wait to start making something special with you. We're finally kicking off the 2024 Sampler Crochet Along Blanket Project. A blanket made of 12 individual colorful squares, each square having its own crochet stitch that we get to play with. I had you in mind the entire way I was creating this project, thinking of crochet stitches, patterns that I've never seen before, ones that I know you really like. I threw some fans and shells in there for my fan and shell lovers. I threw some textures in there for those of you who love texture like myself. And some of these stitches, they look really simple, but we're playing with placement that you might find very foreign and it feels really different. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, not only experimenting with stitches, but also playing around with placement. So even if you're an experienced crocheter who has been doing this a while, I think you're still going to find a lot of value in this project. So why squares? When we did our temperature sampler crochet along project, a lot of people wanted to take the stitches that we were playing with and incorporate them in other projects. So I thought that I'd take a note from that project and make this one even better. For every square, I'm going to walk you through the pattern nice and easy. We'll take every step together so that way I can show you how to turn a square into its own individual blanket. In the pattern for each stitch, I will have a chart that will let you know how many chains you need to chain, how many stitches will be in every row, how many rows you will need to make, and approximately how much yarn you will need to have on hand to make multiple different sizes of blankets utilizing that stitch. I will even go one step further and share with you some neat little finishing touches you could add to that blanket to really make this crochet stitch pop. Okay, so I'm really excited about this part. The yarn we get to work with, my goodness. Thanks to our friends over at Cascade Yarn, we get to play with some super gorgeous and soft yarn. Oh my gosh. And for those of you who adore the color purple, and I know there's a lot of you out there, you're in for a real treat. We decided to go with the Cascade Yarn's 220 Superwash Merino Wool because one, it is super soft and comfy, which is what we're looking for in a blanket. And it's very easy to care for. Machine wash cool and tumble dry low. Perfect. That's what I'm all about. Easy care instructions. And the colors, oh my gosh, Cascade Yarn really nailed it when it comes to the purple palette. They selected specific hues to create stunning colors that can stand out on their own, but also complement each other beautifully to create a well-rounded and seamless project. All right, now let's talk about getting our materials ready. You have two great options. You can either go with the Cascade Yarn 220 Superwash Merino Wool that we've selected in that gorgeous purple color palette, or if you prefer, you can choose whatever yarn that you want to work with and create whatever color palette that you want to create to make this blanket uniquely yours. And feel free to get creative. Use this as a stash buster opportunity. If you have a lot of yarn at home that you just don't know what to do with and you think quite a few of them would look really good together in this sampler project, then use it. Use the recommended crochet hook on the yarn label. The only thing I do ask is that if you're using a different yarn, check the gauge. That way you can try to get your blanket dimensions to match as closely as possible to my blanket dimensions, just so you have the best experience possible. Now to make things extra convenient, there are kit options for this project. Each kit contains 3 skeins of Cascade Yarn Superwash Merino Wool. Each skein will be making its own individual square. So each kit that you get will make 3 squares for our Crochet Along project. You'll also get QR codes for each pattern. That way you can choose to print out the pattern if you'd like to, or review it digitally, which I heard a lot of people prefer, making them easier to read. These ready-to-go kits really help you to dive instantly into the project, and it helps you to just get started right away. Now there are a total of 5 different kits to complete this project, so you feel free if you want to get all 5 or if you want to just get 1 or 2 at a time. That's completely up to you. Every month we're releasing 1 kit. Every month we're doing 3 square tutorials, so that's for 4 months. But what's the 5th month? What's the 5th kit for? The 5th kit will have everything you need for all the borders and all the joining to complete the project. All right, so every time I release a tutorial on YouTube for one of these square stitch patterns, it will be accompanied by a blog post on my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, where you can find a free version of the pattern. However, this free version will not be able to be downloaded or printed out. I will include a link to where you can get a version of the pattern you can print out in both the blog post and the description section below the YouTube video that I release. Okay, so another learning experience that we had with the temperature sampler crochet along blanket project was that not every stitch seems to go together with another stitch. And so to eliminate that pain process in this project, I went with a joining technique that is going to take all the guesswork out of making sure we make every square perfect. If one square ends up being a little bigger than another, if one turns out a little wonky, it's not going to mess up the rest of the project. It's fine. I'm very excited about this joining technique because it allows us to mess up. It allows us to have some wonky squares, and we can keep moving forward and still have a blanket that will lay flat and beautifully in the end. For the blanket border, I think you're gonna love this. Blanket borders are tough because we want to take a lot of what's going on the inside of the blanket into consideration. We don't want the border to compete with what's going on, but a sampler project, there's a lot going on. There's a lot we want to look at. At the same time, we don't want a boring border. We want something that's going to also complement and elevate the project. I think you're gonna love this because this border is not just any border. It's almost like a sampler border in itself. We're working with 3 different colors, multiple different stitches, and they're all beginner friendly. I can't wait to show you how this is done. Now, don't do this project on your own. If you have a crochet friend or family member, invite them along to do this project along with you, because projects are so much more fun when you're doing them with somebody. And if you would like something even more, like a community, I do have this amazing community for you to join where you can ask your questions there and get instant, immediate responses and answers from me, as well as if you hit a snag or if you're stuck somewhere and you need a really quick answer, you can go to this channel, the chat forum, type in your question, post a picture of what's going on, and you can get lots of people there lifting you up and helping you out. If this is something that sounds interesting or intriguing or something you would like to be a part of, check out the link in the description section below. We'd love to have you. So let's break down what you're going to need to get started. Number 1, read the Crochet Along announcement blog post on my website, or I'll put a lot of the same information here on YouTube underneath my community, so that way you don't miss out on anything. Number 2, gather your supplies or order your kits. I'll have links to everything below. Number 3, check out my Crochet Club Crochet Along channel for this project. There is a 7-day free trial period that you can try, so you can go into the Crochet Club, snoop around, check things out, see if it's something that you would actually want to be a part of before you even join. You have the opportunity to share pictures, ask questions, and I think you're going to find a lot of value out of it, especially for this project. Number 4, brush up on some crochet techniques before you begin, especially if you're newer to this craft. Just a heads up, the videos that I'm going to be making, the tutorials for these squares, I'm teaching the stitch. I'm not teaching you how to crochet. For that, check out the links below. Number 5, I just want to make you aware that you can control the speed of the video. If you're finding that one of my instruction videos is going a little fast for you, or if it's going a little slow for you, you can actually adjust the speed of the video by going to the settings of the video. It looks like a little gear, or if you're watching from a phone or tablet, there might be 3 little dots in the upper corner that you can click on, and then click playback speed. There you can speed up or slow down the video. There are also going to be timestamps, if applicable, that you can just quickly hop to the next step if you're already good to go. And number 6, Invite a buddy to do this project with. Projects are so much more fun and enjoyable when you're working on them with somebody. So see if you have anyone you can ask to join along. Before I let you go, mark on your calendars, make a big circle, Saturday, May 4th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going live here on YouTube to kick off this Crochet Along Sampler Blanket project. It is also going to be the same exact day that I release the tutorial for square number 1, and I'm going to be there to show you the entire project, let you know what there is to look forward to, talk about the behind the scenes, why I picked certain stitches, joins, the border, why I did what I did, the inspiration behind everything, and a lot more behind the scene things that I can't share with you in this video. It's also going to be a great place for you to ask any questions, anything to prep ahead of time before you dive into the project. If you can't make it to that live, it's okay. Feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below this video, and I'll make sure that I address them in that live. Got you covered. All right, so are you ready? This is gonna be an amazing crochet journey experience where we're learning new stitches, learning new skills. We're gonna be able to experience things together with each other. And at the end of the project, we will have a beautiful blanket that we can be proud of. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what we'll be able to accomplish together.